Welcome to the Moto Experience. My name is Jackson, and this is my 2024 Triumph Scrambler 400X. I have had this bike for 1 year this week, and I've put over 4,000 miles on it. So I thought it was due time to review this incredible bike. There are plenty of super in-depth, very well done reviews on YouTube. Feel free to go search them if you want to do any deep dives into specifications or modifications, anything crazy like that. I'm going to try to keep this brief and simple, to not take too much of your time, and I am honestly sweating in the sun here. So let's get into it. The 400X really has that classic Triumph look, and I love it. It looks so good. Every little accent piece, styling all around, the general shape of the bike, the ergonomics, the tank, the wheels, the frame, all these side panels. It's such a good looking bike. I love it. I first fell in love with the Triumph style when I saw a Bonneville for the first time. And then I liked the street scramblers and the Scrambler 900, but then they came out with the 400X at a much cheaper price range that I could actually afford. So I had to make my dream a reality and own one of these beautiful Triumph motorcycles. I personally believe, through my own experience riding the 400X, that it lives up to the Scrambler name. Yes, it does lean more towards road riding as far as capabilities go, but I have ridden some crazy trails and crazy roads, sand washes, rocks, hill climbs, you name it, on this bike, and it has performed beautifully. I have dropped it 3 times. All of those times were off-road. I did break the hand guards, so I took them off. I think it looks better without those stock hand guards. They were super flimsy anyways. Broke the shifter lever. Just scratch the engine guards a little bit, the crash bars, which I highly recommend you get. If you plan on doing any off-road riding, you need engine crash bars. I'm 6'2", weigh around 170 pounds, and I fit great on this bike. I have a 34-inch inseam, both feet are flat on the ground, little bend in the knees. Even up sitting, it's perfect. I love the seat. I can grip the tank perfectly. The ergonomics are incredible. Such a well-designed bike. Standing up, which I spend a lot of time standing up, feels great. It honestly feels like a dirt bike. Handlebars feel a little lower than a dirt bike, but it feels so good. Another thing, I have a really long or wide wingspan, and these bars are the perfect height, perfect width for me. It's a very commanding position. You can really get into some corners on the road or off-road, maneuver through whatever you're working through. It's awesome. I love the ergonomics of this bike. Weighing 400 pounds, it is kind of heavy, but it doesn't matter, man. It is so comfortable. The longest I've spent in the saddle in one day was 8 hours. I'll split up into 2, 4 hours one way, 4 hours back. Maybe my ass was sore, I don't remember, so it wasn't that bad. This seat is awesome. I love it. I've only had someone on the back once. It was just a friend of mine. We're just going right down the street. It was super short. I assume that it's a comfortable ride. I've only made a few modifications to this bike. I've added a rear luggage rack where I put this 30-liter roll bag, a side luggage rack where I put a 20-liter bag. I added the engine crash bars, and I added these LED auxiliary lights. I find the stock headlight to be way too dim. You can't see shit at night, especially in corners. As soon as I turn and lean into a corner, I can't see a single thing in front of me on the road. This light is so dim. It's honestly a piece of shit. And with this rock guard on front of the light, it makes it even dimmer. I think it looks great, but I took it off. I didn't have this rock guard on for months until I got these auxiliary lights, and now I can finally see. So I put that rock guard back on. I like how it looks. Now let's talk about the tires. These stock Metzeler Karoo Streets are honestly great tires. They have surprised me time and time again when riding them off-road, and they're great on-road. But let's talk about off-road. Some people say they're a 70-30 tire, maybe an 80-20 tire. I've definitely used them like a 50-50 tire. And they don't have the best traction in corners, on dirt corners, but honestly, I've done some crazy hill climbs in these and some sand washes, and they've done great. In the 4,000 miles I've put on these tires, I've really enjoyed them. I've only slipped out a couple times. It was usually because I was cornering a little too fast or going up something too steep or in some mud or in some sand. These tires are useless in mud and sand. But what do you expect from a 70-30 or an 80-20? I have a pair of Mitas Enduro Trail Plus tires in my garage. True 50/50 tires that I'm putting on this week. So I'm very excited to ride those. It'll be a game changer off-road. We're gonna be riding some serious stuff on those tires. I'm not the only one to think this, but the organic compound brake pads suck. They absolutely suck. The front brake has zero stopping power. It takes so long to stop using the front brake. Obviously, you should use a mix of your brakes, a combination of your brakes, but the front brake is trash. It is so bad. That can be remedied by replacing the organic compound brake pads with ceramic pads, which I'm going to do in the near future. The 400X has a 3.43 gallon or 13 liter gas tank. I average 70 to 80 miles per gallon, so I get around 200 miles per tank. I think that's awesome. I rarely have to fill this thing up, and I ride pretty often. Again, the seat, so comfortable. I love the seat. Not only does it look great, it feels great to the touch, feels great on my ass, even after hours and hours in the saddle. Off-road, on-road, doesn't matter, super comfortable. The riding position, again, let me hop back on here. I love sitting on the bike. I'll sit on it at home when it's just in the garage. The seating position is incredible. Such a well-designed bike. The seat, perfect width. The one thing I don't like about dirt bikes or dual sport seats is they're a little narrow. I can feel them kind of splitting my legs a little too much. But the seat on the 400X has plenty of room for my ass cheeks. It feels so good. So comfortable. Again, the riding position, very commanding, very controlling. I feel like I can sit straight up if I want. I can lean in, tuck in, do whatever. Like I said, standing up feels great. This bike's incredible. Triumph has done it again by designing an incredible machine that is so fun, and I honestly think it lives up to the Scrambler name. You can ride almost anything on the Scrambler 400X. So far, I've done nothing but hype this bike up. Now let's talk about a couple things that I don't like about the Scrambler 400X. One of the defining characteristics of a Scrambler is a high exhaust. But as you can see, the Scrambler 400X has a low exhaust, which I've hit on rocks a handful of times, and it always scares me to death. I'm so afraid of damaging my exhaust. The header comes out the engine in the front, comes way down here, and is the lowest component of the entire bike. And then it sweeps up here and gets a little elevation, but this is just wanting to get hit by anything. By rocks, by trees. If it tips over, what's the first thing that's gonna hit? Obviously the peg, the crash bars might save it. But back here, this is what's gonna hit the ground, and that scares me. So I wish the Scrambler 400X lived up to the characteristic high exhaust of the old school Scramblers. I've seen a custom build of a high exhaust, so maybe someday I might do it, or, just get a different bike that has a high exhaust. That, the ground clearance, and the suspension are the biggest limiting factors, in my opinion, to riding this bike hard off-road. To be able to ride a bike off-road, you're gonna have to go up rocks. There's gonna be some logs, or even just a really steep hill. And I've hit my skid plate, I've hit the engine crash bars multiple times. More times than I could even count. No serious damage. There are a couple dents on my exhaust, but other than that, just some minor scrapes and scratches. Another thing I think they could improve is the suspension. I've bottomed out the front and the rear, again, more times than I could count, but I do ride this bike pretty hard off-road. I kind of ride it like a dual sport. So it's only natural that I would find the limits of this suspension. I wish you could adjust the front. You can only adjust the preload in the rear, which I keep at 0. I don't weigh that much. I weigh, 165 to 170 pounds. But when I have all my camping gear on the back, I will increase the preload to maybe 1 or 2 out of 10. So really not that much. But on road, the suspension feels great. Keeps me planted, even in corners, even on bumps, it feels incredible. Off-road, feels pretty good until you get into some rocks or some bumps. I've definitely been bucked a couple times from the rear, smacking back up. So I know they just came out with the 400XC. I don't think they changed anything to the suspension. I know they changed the wheels and the styling a little bit, but maybe they could improve the suspension a little bit to make it a little more off-road capable. And back to the headlight. The headlight is honestly the worst thing on this bike. The headlight's the only thing that I would give a bad review of on this bike. It has a very narrow beam and it's pretty damn dim. So auxiliary lights are a must on the 400X if you plan on riding at night, either on road or on dirt. Something super important that I forgot to mention while filming this is the gearing of the 400X. A lot of people complain about first gear being really short, and it is. It is ridiculously short. But first gear is that short for a reason. I have used that ridiculously short and low geared first gear countless times off-road to go up short steep climbs or long steep climbs, make my way through technical rock sections, so many applications off-road. So that is why it is so short. And so many people complain about it because they ride on the road more than they ride off-road. A lot of people have been remedying, in air quotes, this gearing problem by increasing the tooth count on the front sprocket from 14 tooth to 15 tooth. I still have the 14 tooth on. I'm probably going to leave it like that. I don't really see the need for the 15 tooth because of all the off-road riding I do. I really use that short first gear. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I wanted to keep it short and brief and just kind of give you my personal impressions and thoughts on the Scrambler 400X. If you found this video useful or enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. I upload videos every week. I do a lot of adventure rides, some cool canyon rides, and I'm going on my first international motorcycle trip this November to Japan. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe, stay tuned for all these awesome videos that are going to be coming out. Again, thank you for watching. It means so much that so many people watch these videos. I do read all of your comments and try to respond to them, but sometimes they just get buried in thousands of other comments, so I'm trying. Don't feel bad if I don't respond, but I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.